more time. Okay, so I'm just gonna give you guys a couple of moments to come in. I'm gonna try this for about 10 minutes because this is an experiment here. So let's see. Good morning. This is Black Spring with Autumn on your Wednesday. And I just had a couple of things I wanted to come in about, but I wanted to give you guys an opportunity to kind of warm up or warm in. We've talked about what we've talked about. We talked about some very relevant things yesterday, but right now I want to see if this works. So hope you guys are doing well out there. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to come in and talk about. I'm going to try to give you some foreground and see if the outcome here is a little different. Um, I was talking about my channel, about the manifestation of my about the things that I believed in, what values, whether I thought they were aligned. I definitely was not of democratic. Uh, I was not of a democratic, beliefs. Or I'm not a victim. I'm not a groupthink personality. I'm not a woe is be personality. A short revelation here is that most people that I find that are low vibrational is that they are always looking for a victim, and that's where to me that's where the vibration is. They are always looking for a victim, and then I can give somebody very specific that's close to me. Or the person is always, they struggle. They cannot think because they're so focused on finding a victim in every situation. They find, even when they can't directly put themselves in a situation, they're still looking. There's something in them. There's something within them that looks for that victim. Even if they can't see it, they are controlled. They are they're controlled. They're looking for that victim. They're looking for a way. They're trying to, they're channeling some type of victimhood somewhere. But unfortunately, to me, that's the reason that they're attracted. They're attracted to other people's misfortunes. They're attracted to other people's tragedy. They're attracted to other people's losses. Because why? Is because they're looking for, they find nobody but themselves. It always goes back to them. It always, when you're dealing with people with personality disorders, and specifically to me, as I've said before, I'm not a psychologist or a psychiatrist, but to me, people that I think that have some of these narcissistic traits, they are always looking for a victim, even if it's not their own personal situation. But all they find is themselves. They find themselves in other people's victimhood, even if they're not directly in it. Oh, I feel sorry for this person. Because even though it's not your situation, you're looking for yourself. They spend all their time looking for themselves in other people's pain. They find themselves, oh, let me see. Oh my God, because that's what they're attracted to. They're attracted to pain. They're attracted to sorrow, even if it belongs to somebody else. And as soon as they find it, they are going to, they find themselves. As soon as they find themselves in that person's tragedy, that person's loss, that person's misfortune, then that's what they're attracted to. And I find that with people, with that are low vibrational, that have personality disorders, that's exactly the way they connect. They connect to their own they connect to their own disorders through other people's loss, tragedy, pain. And what a crap, what it sucks to be them, okay? It's got to suck to not know who you are, or to go to such a low vibrational place that you start looking for yourself in other people's tragedy. It's exhausting. What a world, what a way to live. I don't want anything to do with it. But I'm telling you, I think it happens more often than not. So, I just kind of want to talk about it just for a second. Um, But yeah, we live in a world like that, and to me, that's how they're like able to get a lot of people on board for a lot of nonsense these days. Is because a lot of people, even with these situations with these people coming into the country, a lot of low vibrational, a lot of people that are already that are permanent victims, never the victors, they're always the victims. They can always go into somebody else's situation and find themselves. The minute they find they go through situations that belong to somebody else and find themselves in it, boom, that's where they start feeling sorry because you're looking for yourself in somebody else's pain. You're always there's a family member of mine. She's always looking for somebody else in their loss, looking for herself and somebody else's loss. Oh, you're looking for yourself and somebody else's pain. Oh, you're looking for somebody else and somebody's tragedy. It is not hard. That's what I used to when I used to say people would borrow other people's tragedies. No, they're not borrowing them. They are reflecting it back on themselves. It's always about them. It's always about them. And the minute they find themselves in that other person's tragedy, then that's the minute they're going to start, well, I feel sorry for them. And, oh, because your life is you're so low vibrational yourself, you're so toxic, you reside in that place. You reside in that place yourself all the time, and it's gotta suck. I can't really sugarcoat it. But there's something much more juicier that I want to talk, much more juicy. I said much juicier that I wanted to get into. But we'll see how we'll see how this algorithm goes right now. We want to see, um, because, for instance, the person that I want to talk about I'm going to talk about two content creators, but they're juxtaposed, and they were juxtaposed on one of them's show. One of them featured the other on the most influential one featured this person on his show. And I think she was in for I'm really stunned because I considered this woman, regardless of her sexual orientation and on all of this, I consider this woman to be very, very intelligent and very, very astute. But I'm going to tell you, in a business, to me, politics is a business, just like everything else. To me, it's no less dog eat dog than anything else. It's really not. It's not any less dog eat dog than any other business or any other industry. Um, I it's about McGlover and Tatum, and uh, the initial meeting, or the initial panel that I saw the two of them on, and it was on his channel. I thought that was the most interesting. It's like, okay, is he like, are you toying with this girl, or are you? I just didn't know how it was going to go. And the fact that she has spoken out on her channel about why she's no longer she's not talking about conservative issues. She's not on Newsmax anymore. She's not on any of these channels anymore. She talked about it. She said she talked about her having receipts, and basically how they were not supporting her. Some people were blatant and would tell her it was based on her sexuality, is which she couldn't. But they really, really did. I don't think. I don't know. It's really interesting. But I hear the pain in her voice. I hear, the pain in her voice, but at the same time, just thinking, you gotta be, uh, I'm just stunned that she didn't see that, this was a business. The Candace Owens and the Brandon Tatums and the black conservative this and the black conservative that is an industry. And I've said this before. I don't, Brandon Tatum might have had some of these smaller guys on his panel 2 or 3 years ago, but that was the extent of it. He was not. You're not going to. There won't be Owens, Tatum, and McGlover. There was not going to be an Owens, Tatum, McGlover, and anybody else. There was no such thing as a rising star, because she talks about this in her video on her channel as well as on her Instagram page. She said that, she was asking about engagements. Oh, can I, she would say that they would take her content. I remember seeing her content being posted. I'm just thinking, surely they have permission to be posting Megan's content, no matter what his intent is, or no matter what the relationship is, or how far they're going to go into quote supporting slash promoting her. I just thought it was strange when I can't remember. There was at least one. It might have been Black Conservative Perspective. It might have been his page. I don't know. But when I think about all these, what's the Hodge twins, the Tatum, Owens, that's just a few, because there was a Antoya something on a lot of these Black conservatives, ABL, they would show up on his panel. And so I'm just thinking, well, maybe he is trying to create some type of consortium of, I don't know, but I had no idea. I thought that was the most interesting juxtaposition that was on YouTube at the particular time, and I had no idea. Megan McGlover showed up on Newsmax multiple times. Like more than once, more than twice, maybe 3 times. And her style, she's been consistent. I think who she offers is who she is. But I'm sorry to say, but I really was thinking that she would be a lot more astute than to think that. Do you really think? I mean, Brandon Tatum is not exactly the person that's going to. He's not going to elevate you. He's not going to put you where. You think he's actually going to bring you up to the same level, or to the same, you think he's going to bring you to the same people, the same influencers that he brought her. It's like he brought her there. It's like he had some kind of a carrot out there, but eventually they all snatched up that power and influencer grid. And then she was, she talks about it specifically. I applaud her. I'm in no shape or fashion, pro LGBT or any of these groups. But I thought it was kind of if it was done in the way that I think it was done, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad, because to me, I figure, okay, you're going to get this girl on your podcast or on your panel, and then if she starts to grow, because I remember her channel starting to grow, her other pages were starting to grow, and I figured a lot of people, okay, they're just going to use him as a springboard to kind of get them going. But I didn't know how it was going to materialize, if it was going to materialize at all. But she says that she reached out to many. She reached out to Black, white, conservatives. Many of them told her, oh, you're a lesbian. We can't put you onto major, or we can't put you onto primetime events. Oh, you're not going to be able to get on the Blexit. She mentions Candace Owens. She mentioned that Candace Owens, that I guess it was told to her in so many words, allegedly, go over to her channel if you want to see that, she's like, you didn't want me to compete with your Candace Owens. Because, and here's the thing, kudos to her. Look, they're letting you know that you can. First and foremost, they're letting you know that you can compete with her. You have something special, but it's just not going to be, they're not going to bring it out. They're not going to bring you out through them. She said they would not give her, and to me, this is a bit much. I would have never expected in my wildest dreams that they would ever give her access to their managers. She said they wouldn't give her access to her managers, their their publicist. They wouldn't do any of that. So it's like really a one-sided situation that she was in. And she said, since then she's basically watched. She said that, the alienation of that particular community has contributed to the failure of the Republicans or conservatives, which to me, they're all, it's a business. Okay. You be better on your own, but you're not going to twine I remember somebody that used to come on to my channel, and I'm just thinking, you can love bomb the hell out of these people all you want, but whatever their pipeline was to success, believe me, it's not going to be the same for you. Especially something that's is because the way Brandon Tatum talks about his beliefs and all this stuff, it's just a little bit intense, it's a little bit much. But it was very stirring, the testimony that she gave, about what happened with her, and her basically just shutting down. She said she shut down uploading her content. She would send messages, hey, I saw you uploaded my content, can I get on your podcast, can I get onto your channel, can I open for you? She said she even attended somebody's book, the book signing event, spent on her own dime. In fact, she talked about not being compensated for any of those events that she did, whether it was speaking engagements, I guess maybe she's including Newsmax and all those other other places as well. So I'm just saying that I think that it's a lesson, unfortunately, but I'm just thinking, I think I would have maybe I don't know if she brought her intentions to the table, or if she just let them know at the beginning, look, this is what I'm interested in doing. But I do think it might have saved a relationship, it might have saved a network, had they just said to her, look, that sometimes most people people are gravitating to larger people on YouTube 2 or 3 years ago, because they were trying to get a one up. There's a huge amount of censorship that was going on back then, and it still is. It's funny now that they decided to I think her channel is monetized now, but she said she's going back to her original talent, her original affinities, which would be counseling. She does, she's a therapist. So I just think that's more than unfortunate. It's more than unfortunate, but to me, I'm not surprised, because the minute you try to twine yourself to personalities or influencers on YouTube, you're not going to. It's probably not with those. There's a pattern. I think there's a pattern between Blexit and I actually had a ticket to Blexit. I never told you guys. I had a ticket to Blexit some years ago, and I didn't end up going because it was in Los Angeles. I did end up meeting Candace Owens at a Town and Country a few years ago. But I'm just saying, these people are not going to catapult you to. They're not going to, no matter what you think you are, what you think your beliefs are, and who you want to rah behind. I just don't think I didn't think that this was, I thought she was going to be a little bit more astute on that this is a business. You can't get there on pure, nobody gets to where they are, I think, anymore on pure talent, pure acuity. It doesn't happen that way. And that Springboard, I mean, you got a picture of her. She was pictured with Larry Elder at one of those, shows that they did. I don't know if it was Blexit or whatever, but she got shut down immediately. And I really didn't know how it was going to go, but I wouldn't have imagined. I was thinking, well, it's not going to get this far. But to me, it went way further than it should have ever gone if they were not authentic in their approach and all of these things. I don't know if she never said that she said she felt exploited, but she didn't say she felt misled. So I think you just have to kind of look at people's actions. She said a lot of times she would put out, she'd put out a hit, or she'd put out feelers for things, and she would get no responses. She said people had her personal phone number. Oh, can I work with you on this? Can I work with you on that? She was getting no traction She was getting no traction on those things. But this is the thing, it's a business out here, uh, and it will be a business. But, these influencers are not going to, they're not going to bring you, you can label yourself conservative or whatever you want, and you're still not going to hit the streets with what you're trying to get to. They're not gonna roll you out. The bigger names are not gonna roll you out. They're not gonna put you in touch with their managers. And first and foremost, Brandon Tatum himself is not a manager. He's not a talent manager. And then she said this. She said another point, that if she were a Democrat, she would have been rich. She said it twice. She says, if I were a Democrat, I'm paraphrasing, but I'm pretty sure this is spot on, I would have been rich. And that may be true. But like I'm saying, you're dealing with a paradigm. And to me, I've always kind of been under the impression that Tatum and Owens, that's a business partnership. And that's a business partnership that there will not be a third wheel. There will not be. There won't be a conservative third wheel when it comes to Tatum and Owens. No. Because, what was it? Because, they're connected to a lot of people. Is it PragerU and some of these others? It's just that that's just not, unfortunately, like I said, unfortunately, it's not going to pan out like that. And unfortunately, she had to find out that way. I didn't think it was, to me, that was the worst case scenario. And that's what ended up happening. The worst case scenario ended up happening. So with that said, I'm going to get out of here, and I appreciate you guys for tuning in, and hope you guys have a great start to your Wednesday. Take care.